Hi everybody, I wanted to update you on how things are going on my weight loss journey with Calibrate. I am officially down 23.2 pounds, which is great. I did start taking my Trulicity prescription last Tuesday. I am again on 0.75 milligrams. It is pretty handy dandy. When I had done shots at home when my hubby and I were trying to get pregnant, you had to like adjust onto the tube and try to see what it said about how much, and it was always just kind of nerve-wracking. Is it too much? Is it not enough? This is handy dandy. You pick a spot. I just did my stomach. You hold the pen onto there, and then you push down and click once and hold it, and then when it's done injecting, it makes another clicking sound and you're done. So it was pretty easy peasy. I didn't seem to have any injection site itching or pain or anything. What I have noticed being on it is I feel an awful lot fuller faster. Like day one, when I was at work, I was kind of like, well, I'm gonna have a banana before lunch. And I ate my banana and I was like, I'm stuffed, which is not usually the case. So it has been interesting. I think it's working, but I also think it is interesting, like all of a sudden feeling like I normally would have eaten way more than this. So I do worry a little bit about, I gotta make sure I'm eating enough, but I guess in the long run that will just work itself out. So far so good. No weird tummy issues or anything like that. So knock on wood, so far so good. And I am still taking that with the 500 milligram Metformin they prescribed. So we'll see how that goes, but like I said, so far real happy with that. I do have my third coaching session tomorrow, which I'm a little unsure of how I feel about the whole coaching thing. Right now it feels an awful lot like we're just jumping through hoops. Like this is the week we talk about X and then we're done. So like the first week was setting up a goal for water, which is fine. I drink a fair amount of water anyway, so it's just kind of reinforced that to be an everyday thing. So then on my second session 2 weeks ago, it was kind of funny, like, so how'd you do on your goal? Which you do have to log it in every day. Did you drink 120 ounces of water? So I said, well, I'm doing good. I met the goals. Do you think you'll be able to keep that up? And I was kind of like, well, like I previously said, I do drink a fair amount of water, so that shouldn't be a problem. You know, how many days did you meet your goal? And I'm like, I would have thought part of putting all of that in, tracking it in the app would be that he would pull up the app and say, oh, here's what I see. But I don't know if that'll happen in the future, but it was a little, I don't know, kind of weird. And then for the past 2 weeks, what you have to track is if you eat or how much you eat of the red foods, which you are supposed to avoid. So I've done real good, except for Saturday was my birthday, so I had a few beers out, but you only turn 53 once, right? So he was talking about tracking, you need to track the red foods you eat. But then it was kind of funny, he was like, did you read the information that was dropped into your app? Because every time before you meet, you get a new little course to read through. And I was like, I did, which I did, about which foods were good, which were bad, you know, making good decisions, all about that. And he said, good. All right, now next time. And I'm like, okay, I guess that's all we're you're just going to confirm I read it and we're not going to discuss it at all. So it was a little weird. A little bit like I felt like he checked off his talking points that he needed to do to complete a session appropriately, and that was kind of it. He seems kind of uber on track, like I bird walk, I talk, I make jokes, you know. So last time I just kind of stuck to it, and our 15-minute session was like 8. So I'm like, okay. So I feel like that's a little to be determined if I will stick with him. You can change coaches, but I guess my hope had been to get a little bit more out of it than, all right, I checked that coaching session off for this 2 weeks, and now I'll worry about him in 2 more weeks. So I don't know. We'll see. But I am pleased with how it is going and losing, and I have been trying to up my exercise. And I'm sure that'll be in a couple weeks. That'll be my goal. 150 minutes a week, which I usually can do 100, 120, and not that I can't do 150, but you know, sometimes life happens, or I'm lazy, to be perfectly honest. But last week I did hit 150, so, or the week before I hit 150, and then last week, due to things going on in life, I think I was 110. So I'm not gonna get too down on myself about that, as long as I'm progressing and keeping on track. One thing I will say, you know, I've been really pleased with the program, and other than just the little coaching weirdness, you know, I think it's pretty straightforward, and I don't have any complaints about the medication. You know, if you are thinking about doing this and go on to Facebook or other sites, you're just going to see a lot of people complaining. So take some of that with a grain of salt. But the thing I do find kind of weird is what we will be discussing at coaching tomorrow is improving sleep, which I'm a real bad sleeper. I love to sleep, just as I get older for some reason. I guess I can't do it as long. I try. But then I was looking ahead to what the next weeks are, and one of them is talking about your 2-week jump start, which is officially what I feel would be like when you're starting your diet and getting the jump start. But I'm like, I've been kind of doing that for the last 3-4 weeks. So I feel like things could be laid out a little better, because although I understand baby steps, like, okay, we're gonna learn about these 4 things, the 4 pillars of healthy eating and weight loss. If I hadn't kind of jumped ahead and started doing the diet and had some success so far, I think I would be like, when are we ever gonna start the diet? So I don't know if that's a me thing, and I just, as usual, didn't pay a good attention to something, and I missed out on something. But I'm kind of taking the if it ain't broke, don't fix it approach. So I'll just keep pushing on. Other than that, nothing really. I feel bad I don't have some mind-boggling thing to tell you, and I guess that's good. Because if you're thinking about doing it, I mean, I guess slow and steady and things are working great is better than something's horrible or something bizarre happened to me. So hopefully not too boring, and with more results, hopefully staying good. I feel like I'm on a good track. So I appreciate your watching. If you want to follow me on my weight loss journey, don't forget to like this and subscribe, and I hope everyone has a great week.